What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market was green today. Hallelujah. S&P 500 up 18 points, up 0.5%. The Dow Jones also up 0.5%, up 150 points, as the NASDAQ 100 pretty much broke even, and the Russell 2000 crushed it, guys, up over 1.6% on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks here that I'm looking to buy right now. And I also want to break down some earnings reports from Coca-Cola, Intel, AT&T, Southwest Airlines, and American Airlines. And we're also going to go over what I personally did in the markets today and what stocks I'm holding right now. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and check out the free Strive Smart Discord chat, the free Strive Smart Facebook group, link down below in the description box. You can also get 3 free stocks valued up to $1,600 each, and that actually runs out here on the 31st of October. All you have to do is deposit $100, and you get those 3 free stocks. So without further ado, guys, let's talk about what ended up happening today, and we're going to do a little bit of a stimulus update here in a couple of minutes. But first, let's take a look at the S&P. Overall, again, up 0.5%, up $17, or points rather, roughly 18 points. And we can see here on the hourly chart, we rallied off of the support at about 34.30. That is a good sign. We've talked about how that held yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that on the 19th of October. So the fact that we held 34.30, we held the 180 SMA here on the hourly chart, and we rallied, that's a good sign. But hey, don't get ahead of yourselves, bulls. Wait a second, because we're still trading in this wedge, right? We have not broken the downtrend quite yet. The 50 SMA here is still acting as resistance on the hourly chart, which is a bit worrisome and could lead to me to believe that this might be a bull trap, right? So technically speaking, we need to break this wedge right here, the 50 SMA on the hourly chart, and slowly fill the gap up to 34.80 for the trend to start to reverse to the upside, right? And you can see it for yourselves. We're squeezing ourselves into the wedge right now, and whether it's tomorrow or next week at some point, we're going to decide what direction we're picking, right? A gap out would be very bullish. If we got rejected here and we ended up going back to test 34.30, that would be bearish, right? So watch out for this wedge here, the 50 SMA, the resistances on the hourly chart, and on the 5-day, 5-minute, you guys can see the same, right? We're still trading at a lower high technically, right? We haven't really broken out quite yet, so don't jump into it, guys, because for all we know, and you can do whatever you want, of course, but be careful is what I'm saying, because for all we know, stimulus talks could go sour. They could continue going for the next couple of days, and the markets could end up seeing another sell-off. Who knows? I mean, we're in a very choppy environment right now with elections coming up and so forth. This is not the time, at least in my opinion, to be crazy in the markets, right? And again, do whatever you want. This is just my opinion, but hey, that's just my opinion, right? This is my channel at the end of the day, guys. So stimulus, what happened today? Pelosi said on Thursday, which is today, a deal is underway, and quote unquote, it's just about there. How many times have we heard that, guys? Oh man, how many times have we heard that? But she also said, if we were not making progress, I wouldn't spend 5 seconds in these conversations. This is not anything other than, I think, a serious attempt. I do believe that both sides want to reach an agreement. So, yeah, I mean, hello, of course they want to reach an agreement, guys. And to be sure, Pelosi noted that both sides have yet to reach an agreement on certain key issues, including state and local funding. She also cautioned it would take, quote-unquote, a while for lawmakers to actually write and vote on any aid bill. So that could be signaling, hey, this might not come until after the election. Who knows, guys? And President Trump also tweeted on Wednesday, and these remarks came after he actually tweeted this, that he doesn't see, quote-unquote, and you know how Trump is on Twitter, he said, quote-unquote, any way Nancy Pelosi and crying Chuck Schumer will be willing to do what is right for our great American workers or our wonderful USA itself on stimulus. So they're going back and forth. They're still at it. Who knows what's going to happen, guys? Anything could happen. But at this point, the markets, I think they're getting a little bit more optimistic on a deal coming. But like I said, it could change in the snap of a finger, so be careful out there. And when it comes down to the Dow Jones, up 150, up 50 basis points here, 0.5%. And you guys can see we failed at 28,400. We double top there. We sold off into the close. And like I've been saying, 28,400 is a big level of resistance. And on the hourly chart, you guys can see we are still trading under that 50 SMA. And again, you can see under 28,400. So until we break 28,400, guys, and the 50 SMA on the hourly chart, we're still in a downtrend. That's the truth, right? And once we do break 28,400, we might be filling the gap up 300 points to about 28,700, which would really show a reversal in the trend, right? That would be very bullish. That would be an upside indication, right? If we were to do something like this. And like I said on the S&P, right, we're squeezing into a wedge. We're holding 28,200 on the bottom side. So we're in this wedge on the Dow Jones as well. So if 28,200 breaks on the downside, we might see more downside, right? We could see another leg down, a lower low in the downtrend. So watch what direction we pick in these next couple of days. Same exact thing here with the NASDAQ 100. We're still trading under 11,700, which is a big resistance, and this 50 SMA on the hourly chart. So watch 11,700 on the upside, 11,800. And on the downside, 11,500, right? Whether we break the resistance or break below the support, that's going to really identify what direction we're going, at least here in the short term. And one thing you may notice, like I said earlier, the Russell beat out all the indexes, up 1.65% here, up 26 points, and that's on stimulus talks, right? And the small businesses here, they're going to do very well, especially once that next stimulus package is announced. And during the positive negotiations, right, they're going to do well and react well to those positive negotiations of the stimulus. So that's what we're seeing today with the Russell, as the mid-cap, small-cap businesses really are struggling right now. As we all know, Main Street is struggling, and the stimulus is really going to help them. So watch out those technical points across the main indexes there. Let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on stimulus, the markets? Are you buying? Are you selling? You think this is a bull trap or what? Let me know down below in the comments. And you guys know what I think already. I just said it. We have to be careful. It could be a bull trap. Wait for the confirmation. And when it comes down to what I did today, guys, I feel like I've been a boring guy lately, a boring trader. It's the truth. I didn't do anything today. I've kind of just been riding it on here, riding the markets, and just waiting to see how the stimulus talks go and what direction the market picks. So I figured I'm going to hold on to what I have already, which is Workhorse, EA, and Apple, right? And I'm still holding on to those. And speaking of Workhorse, we had a nice day today, up at one point close to 10%. We ended up closing the day up 4.2%. And notice here, guys, this is not looking too good. Not a good close for Workhorse. It's failing at a lower high here, right under that 50 SMA on the hourly chart. And if we break 20 bucks flat, this could be going down back to the 19s, maybe to test that low at about 1909. So watch out there on Workhorse. Me, guys, I'm not buying any more right now. I'm not selling any either. I'm just holding on to my position at about $24 per share. And yes, I am down a bit, but I'm planning on riding out the volatility here, and this is more of a longer term hold for me, right? And Apple, I'm in at 115, and if you guys have been following the channel, you guys know this. Apple in at 115. Today we were down about 1%, still in this downtrend, so watch out if we break out, and especially above 118, 119. That is where I think Apple has a lot of upside, and I'm just waiting and holding on. I don't think we're going to go much lower, right? You know, if anything, I mean, we could go lower in the hundreds, but under 100, I don't think we're going there by any stretch of the imagination. I could be wrong, guys. Again, I could be wrong, but hey, that's just what I think. And I'm holding on at 115 pretty comfortably here. And EA, I'm also still holding down a little bit on this position in at about 133. We're trading at about 127, so down about $6 per share, but I'm not sweating it. This is a longer term swing for me. And ultimately above 135 is where I see a lot of potential. And let's say we were to break 125, I might consider taking a little bit of a loss there, quite honestly, as that would be a big shift in the trend. But overall, I'm holding on tight onto EA, Workhorse, and Apple. And I also have a ton of cash in my portfolio, guys, probably like 60% at this point. And that might be too much. You guys might be saying, Stosh, you're crazy, but hey, it's just the truth. 60%, 50% is roughly what I have. So I might buy some more Apple. I might buy some other stocks here. We'll see. But overall, that's what I'm doing. So let me know in the comments, guys. What are your thoughts? What are you doing? Now let's talk about some earnings reports very quickly, starting off with Coca-Cola here, ticker symbol KO. It ended up going up 1.4% today. EPS came in at 55 cents versus 46 cents estimated, so they beat there on EPS. And revenue came in at $8.7 billion versus $8.35 billion estimated. So a double beat there on Coca-Cola. And to show you guys kind of how the business is compared to last year in the same quarter, last year they did $9.51 billion. So they are down a bit from 9.51 to about 8.7 revenue from last year to this year. But it's not nearly as bad as most other businesses out there, other than tech, obviously, because a lot of tech companies are doing better now, and you guys know that already. So Coca-Cola doing pretty well. It broke above 50. It held it nicely. We actually gapped up to about 51.60 after they reported earnings, and we closed at about 50.60. So this could be a dip buy. I'm liking it. Overall, I've mentioned before, I'll say it again, my target on Coca-Cola is about $53. So from $50.60 to about $51, we might be able to enter and ride it up to 53. That's kind of what I'm thinking there. And Intel, thank God that I ended up selling out of this one when I did. And I locked in a nice profit on that announcement that they're selling, I believe, their memory unit for $10 billion or something. They mentioned that a couple days ago. That shot the stock up to 56. I ended up selling at about 55 something, right? I locked in my profits before earnings, and this is why I do what I do, guys. This is why I don't like holding my trades through earnings for the most part, right? Because they can do things like this. You can see Intel closed today at 54, and now after hours it's down to $48. I mean, it's getting decimated. It's down over 10%. And let's take a look here. What did they do for earnings? They had EPS of $1.11 versus $1.10. And they ended up having sales of $18.3 billion versus $18.22 billion. And they also raised their full year guidance. So I'm wondering, why did they actually fall here? And that's another tricky thing, right? Another tricky thing with stocks, that they fall sometimes on decent earnings. I mean, it could be Intel hit as customers flock to lower cost laptops, data center chips. Okay, that makes a little bit sense. Intel stock plunges 10% after earnings show bigger sales drop than expected. Okay, so there you go, right? Bigger sales drop than expected. So this could be an overreaction. It might not be. We'll see tomorrow. But overall, 10% down after hours. That's a bit scary, guys. And I think I saw before AMD was actually going up after hours. So it's funny. These companies are competitors. One does poorly, right? The other one, it does well. It's funny how that works. So watch out for Intel and AMD tomorrow. AT&T, guys, I ended up buying more of this one earlier in my long-term account. Today, actually, they had EPS of 76 cents, which was in line with expectations. Revenue came in at $42.34 billion versus $41.61 billion, so they beat there on revenue. The stock ended up going up from $26.80 to about $28.50. So that's got to be the biggest move in AT&T in months. That's a move of about 6%, almost 6% here in one day. So AT&T is looking good. I mean, short term, obviously, but if we pull back a bit on the 4-hour chart, you guys can see, I mean, it's still downtrending by every stretch of the imagination, right? We're still under the 180 SMA, which we got rejected at multiple times in the past couple of months. So don't be too excited if you're looking to trade AT&T as a breakout, because we're still overall in a downtrend, which could come back and bite you. But if you're a long-term investor, hey, you can buy in. They have a nice dividend. Heck, I bought in this morning. No joke, guys. I bought shares this morning because of the dividend, right? So AT&T, let me know your thoughts down below. And we also had Southwest and AAL today. LUV is Southwest. They had EPS of negative $1.99, so they lost about $2 versus the negative $2.35 estimated. So they beat on EPS, and revenue also came in at $1.8 billion versus $1.7 billion estimated. And the EPS a year ago was $1.23, which goes to show how much it's dropped from last year to this year. It's crazy. And the revenue is was about three times more a year ago than what it was this quarter a year later. It was about 5.64 1 year ago billion, which is crazy considering, again, we just had 1.8 billion this quarter. So the airlines are still struggling, but hey, they beat EPS revenue in terms of Southwest. The stock's up 5%. So I'm watching to see big resistance coming up at about $42. This could be a breakout on LUV, and also on AAL, American Airlines, guys. They had EPS of negative $5.54 versus negative $5.88. Revenue came in at $3.2 billion versus $2.76 billion estimated. That's a double beat there. Stock up 3.2%. Big resistance coming up on AAL, like I've been saying for a couple of videos here in a row, at $13.40. If we break that, maybe we get some stimulus package helping out the airlines and so forth. This could end up exploding, right? Maybe back up to the $15, $16 territory. So overall, those are some earnings: Coca-Cola, Intel, AT&T, Southwest, and AAL. And let me know your thoughts, guys, down below. And if you guys are enjoying the video, hit the like button for me. It really helps me out. And make sure to claim your 3 free stocks from WeBull, valued up to $1,600. Those are linked right down below in the description box. So let's start off with some other stocks. Tesla, guys, TSLA is not looking too great right now from the bullish perspective. And let me explain why with a couple of technical breakdowns here. So let's take a look. 90-day chart, let me pull it up. You guys can see we're actually failing at that high from post-earnings. We ended up spiking up yesterday after they reported to about 446, and we sold off all day today, making this a lower high. I mean, you guys see what I'm seeing here? A couple days ago on the 14th, we failed at 460. On the 16th, we failed at 455. And then every day after that, we kept failing at lower highs. And yesterday, again, we spiked up in anticipation of earnings and after earnings. But now we're failing again. So look for Tesla to maybe play at $420 tomorrow, maybe test that out tomorrow, $420. If that breaks, we could be en route to another lower low here. That would not be good news. And if we go up to the 4-hour chart, you guys can see it even better. I mean, with this sell-off and rejection at 460, now we're breaking the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. We're also breaking this wedge that we were in, we were pent up between 440 and 460 prior to earnings. Now we're breaking those levels. So I'm telling you guys, if 420 breaks, we might see a short-term sell-off in Tesla. Who knows where? I mean, that's the million-dollar question, but all I know is that the bears will gain momentum if 420 breaks on the downside. So be careful with Tesla, guys. I for sure am. I'm not forcing anything with that stock right now. But Beyond Meat, on the other hand, it's selling off pretty aggressively from its peak at about 190, 197. Now we're trading at about 172, so almost $30 under that all-time high, or not even the all-time high, but the high here on the 4-hour chart. And we're approaching support. Support's at about 165 on this 4-hour chart. You guys can see it right around where that 50 SMA is, or actually no, the 180 SMA, this gold line here. So I like Beyond Meat. I mean, as a dip buy, especially if we see consolidation at about 165, 160, 170, wherever it ends up deciding to hold. So I'm watching Beyond here, and let's say it does get to 165. That could be about a 17%, 20% margin of opportunity from the high on the 4-hour chart to about 165, right? So watch Beyond Meat, BYND. And another one here is Pepsi, guys, PEP. This one is down about $5 from the high back on the 9th, 10th of October, right? We peaked out at an old resistance from back in the beginning of September. You guys can see it right here. And you guys can see, yeah, we're pulling down, and we're holding 140. We're holding 139, 138, 140-ish as a support. So at this point, guys, we are not fully breaking out quite yet. We need to wait and see on this 5-day. Actually, no, the 10-day, 30-minute. We have to wait and see for this trend right here to break, right? Once this breaks, we might fill the gap up to that resistance from back a couple days ago at $144. So you'd see that on the 4-hour chart occur. That would be around, let's say, if 130 held, 139 held, and we broke up to 144, that could be around a 3.5% move, and maybe up to 147, another big resistance. That could be close to a 6% move. So watch out for Pepsi here. I'm loving it. And NEO, guys, take a look at what's happening here with NEO. We've seen this happen many times in the past, right? We get a big leg up, a huge surge in the stock. It consolidates a bit for a couple trading days, couple of weeks. It really depends, right? And then it sees another leg up, right? We've seen it once. We've seen it twice here. And a couple of days ago, I think it was Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, I forget what bank, but they upgraded it to a buy. They put a nice price target on it, I believe in the 40s, and we saw another leg up from 22 up to about 29, and now we're consolidating in this channel. We have been for the past couple of days and slowly selling off. So I think, yeah, there could be more downside. I mean, we could go to $26, maybe $25.50 on NEO. But overall, I think eventually we're going to see another breakout, right, like we saw before. And that's what you notice with a lot of these high-growth companies, these new companies that are not really getting much attention from Wall Street, but slowly begin to get attention, right? And then a lot of new buyers come in. You notice these stages where we see a breakout, little consolidation, breakout, little consolidation, breakout. So watch out and see what happens here with NEO, whether it's at $25, $23, wherever it consolidates, $26. Nobody knows, right? But once we see that breakout, we could see the momentum shift back up, and we might be able to take advantage of it. And the next one here is going to be Target, ticker symbol TGT. This one is also looking like Beyond Meat. We hit a high on the 4-hour chart. We're selling off now. Target is not as down as Beyond Meat is, but it is down about $8 per share from its high. That equates to about 5%. And we are approaching a big level of support on the 4-hour chart right around this 180 SMA at about $155. So right now my target on Target, no pun intended, guys, is $155. If we're able to get there, hold that. That would be my dip buy entry on Target. And maybe I'd buy calls there. I'm not too comfortable buying calls on Target, maybe, and maybe for Beyond Meat as well. We will see. And maybe even on NEO. I was looking at some longer term calls on NEO. We'll see what ends up happening there. And the last couple here, guys, Virgin Galactic. I've got questions from yesterday. I didn't cover it in yesterday's video, so I'm going to talk about it right now. Virgin Galactic, this is nothing but a healthy pull down in my honest opinion, right? Nothing but a healthy pull down in my honest opinion. And we can see it in the technicals, right? We hit a higher high, and I mentioned it last week and the previous couple of videos, right? The sell target, I was saying, the sell target on Virgin Galactic in the short term was about $24.50 to $25, and we hit that level. We got a bit overbought, and now we're pulling down. It makes sense, right? And I rather see the pull down be quick and us get it over with, right? And we got a big pull down yesterday, 10%. So, hey, it looks like we got it over with, right? And now we're getting a consolidation at about $20.40, $20.60, $21, which is a good sign, as we did hold that on the 12th of this month and on the 15th of this month and back on the 6th of this month. And it was also a resistance at the end of September. So us holding $20.50 to $21 is very critical. And the second we get an upwards pop from that consolidation, right, you guys can see literally all day today we've been holding it. The second we get a gap up, whether it's tomorrow in the open market, at market open, we get a gap up, that's going to signal the momentum shift, and we might get a gap fill up to 2240. That's the next big resistance, and if that breaks, maybe from 2240 back up to those highs from the 20th of this month. So Virgin Galactic, I would not panic. If anything, I'm viewing this as a dip buy, but again, I'm waiting for that confirmation. And the last one here is an MJ stock, ticker symbol CGC, guys, up 4% today, up 81 cents. There's a lot of momentum, upwards momentum in this stock, especially now as we broke and held above $20 per share. This is huge, guys, right? We have volume kicking in as well, and now we might be able to touch the next resistance coming up at $21.30. So if $20 holds, some support there, maybe up to $21.30 is possible. And honestly, if we do hit $21.30, that would arguably be overbought, so I'd like to see a pull down from there. But with everything going on politically right now, with the whole MJ situation, decriminalization, if the Democrats win the election, I see a lot of upside in this. You know, maybe up to $21.30, like I just said, and even above that, maybe $23. That's a big resistance, and about $25 as well. So overall, that's it for this video, guys. If you all enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button. Let's try to get 400 likes on this video, and subscribe to the channel. We're shooting for 25,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I don't know if it's possible, but if you guys help, hey, we might be able to get there. And check out the free links down below, the Discord chat, the Facebook group, the 3 free stocks as well from WeBull. So yeah, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there, keep crushing the markets, and peace out.